And now our third speaker, code 4008, born in the USA.
October 6th, 2005, a monumental day of celebration. Textbooks were written, documentaries filmed about the day that the world would come to know as my birthday. 10 years after my parents became naturalized Americans, their love nest grew bigger, resulting in the most beautiful gift. Me. But at the same time, I was gifted something that I wouldn't come to understand until over a decade later. Citizenship in the United States, under the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment. But what is the clause? It states that if you're born on US soil, you are automatically an American citizen. It is your birthright. From the 14th Amendment to the Wong Kim Ark case, birthright citizenship has guaranteed children of all immigrants, legal and undocumented, the ability to pursue the American dream. Yale Daily News points out, birthright citizenship contributes to America's melting pot and is the reason our demographics look the way they do. However, since its inception, the over 150-year precedent has been a point of political dispute. And in light of the 2024 elections, it's resurfaced once again. So today, let's get this party started and unwrap where birthright citizenship originated, how it is being scrutinized, and why its debate is never ending. Because as Vox notes, even with only 5 months before heading to the polls, the seemingly simple, yet urgent discourse is still wrapped in incorrect empirics. National Me Day is historically important for a number of reasons that are obvious, but many scholars disagree. They say that other days take the cake. Wait, my cake? And although my birthday should be marked on your calendar, so should the 1857 Supreme Court case Scott v. Sanford, more popularly known as the Dred Scott case, ruling that no African American could be granted U.S. citizenship. In response, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 was passed to grant birthright citizenship without regard to race, color, or slavery. But this right wasn't constitutionally protected until 2 years later, when Congress ratified the 14th Amendment, overturning the Dred Scott decision. The one-sentence Citizenship Clause ruled that anyone born or naturalized in the United States is a citizen. But language surrounding immigration wouldn't be unboxed until the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. The law barred anyone Chinese from entering America and obtaining U.S. citizenship, including U.S.-born Chinese individuals. In 1894, San Francisco-born Wong Kim Ark returned to the U.S. after a trip to China, but was denied re-entry because his parents were never citizens. Wong fought back, and his case reached the Supreme Court in 1897, where the American Immigration Council explains that justices questioned whether U.S. citizenship is determined by jus soli, by soil, or by jus sanguinis, by blood. The justices ruled 6-2 in favor of Wong and set the precedent stating that a child born in the U.S. to parents of foreign descent is a citizen. A broad interpretation granting any immigrant, legal and undocumented, the ability to have U.S. citizen children. and the court hasn't re-examined it since. The end. Until political discourse gave it an expiration date. In this election year, candidates like Donald Trump promised to end birthright citizenship on his first day in office. One burning question has become a political piñata, where Republicans and Democrats push back and forth with their views. Should the children of undocumented immigrants be granted birthright citizenship? The Heritage Foundation and Migration Policy Institute highlight both sides of this LD policy PF debate. First, Republicans cite that birthright citizenship is increasing unauthorized immigration. In fact, they consider the clause a magnet for illegal border crossing. On the other hand, Democrats reject this idea, instead posing that birthright citizenship maintains healthy immigration. The Pew Research Center warns the removal of birthright would immediately turn over 9.5 million US children that live with an undocumented parent from birthright citizens to unauthorized immigrants. Second, Republicans argue that undocumented immigrants are exploiting the clause's unclear language as a loophole. Republicans cite birth tourism as one of multiple examples, which is where pregnant women apply for US visitor visas to give birth on US soil, as defined by US Customs. Republicans explain that our founding fathers never intended for the clause to be used this way. However, Democrats dismiss the idea that the clause is unclear, instead claiming that the Wong-Kim Ark precedent clarified that birthright citizenship specifically applies to the children of undocumented immigrants. Finally, Republicans claim that birthright citizens have unreliable allegiance to the United States, and instead, they might pledge their allegiance to their parents' home country. Democrats deny this notion, stating that birthright citizens have proven their unwavering allegiance by joining the US military and serving in political office. But why does this debate matter? The Atlantic notes in 2023 that in every session of Congress from 2007 to 2021, a Republican representative has introduced a bill to end birthright citizenship. And Democrats repeatedly cite the Wong-Kim Ark constitutional precedent, revealing the debate never ends. Both sides, politically and emotionally evocative discourse, serve one main purpose: to get us to the polls. But this phenomenon isn't new. History repeats itself as politicians blow out the candle and toast to another election year of infusing birthright citizenship into their campaigns. But why? Birthright has been an evergreen campaign point, targeting voters who don't understand the implications of their vote. So, what makes the clause's debate the perfect political tool? According to Vox in 2018, birthright citizenship comes up every few years as a provocative idea, galvanizing anti- and pro-immigrant sentiment in elections. 2024's election is no different. Campaigns calling to keep birthright citizenship mean adhering to jus soli, outlined in the Wong-Kim Ark case as citizenship by soil. On the other hand, campaigns calling for its end would automatically default to jus sanguinis, citizenship by blood. As the LA Times asserts, voting on birthright citizenship means questioning which bloodlines are American. And in a nation where the American Immigration Council reports that 45 million immigrants call America home, the implications of birthright citizenship's debate extend beyond those who were born here. It questions the belonging of everyone with foreign blood, including myself. I was gifted my citizenship underneath this clause, and doing this research was shocking. I realized that until we define what it means to be an American, this debate will never end. Our political leaders' framing of this clause has affected the way we've voted on it for decades. Now, with a better understanding of birthright's complexity, it doesn't have to. Today, we unwrapped where birthright citizenship originated, how it is being scrutinized, and why its debate is never ending. This year, we head into the 19th year of celebrating me as a gift to the world. You're welcome. But my family and I's celebration will have an undercurrent of reflection as we wonder whether the gift of citizenship will keep on giving.
And now, our fourth